Hey everybody, Kimura here. While Wasteland Reborn should function right out of the box when you install it, there are still quite a few changes that you can make after the fact that might both improve your gameplay experience and improve your performance. Now, some of these changes are a little complicated, and I'm still not 100% sure about the exact effectiveness of everything, so feel free to experiment with the changes I list in this video to find the best settings for you. Now, we've got a lot of things to go over, so let's just get into it. As you've probably noticed, there are a section of mods at the bottom of Wasteland Reborn's mod organizer that are labeled as optional. These are the only mods that I currently support the enabling or disabling of. First, you have Silent Protagonist. Silent Protagonist prevents the player character from speaking, just like in the earlier Fallout titles. You can disable this if you like to, however, this will cause certain quest mods that do not have player voice lines to now be silent. The next two mods are Suit Up and its Wasteland Reborn patch. Suit Up is a UI mod that changes the first-person view of power armor to look similar to the power armor helmet that you're wearing. While I personally appreciate the more bulky feeling power armor gets with this mod, I do know that some people have problems with the UI itself. Also, this mod was only designed for 16:9 aspect ratios. If you have a larger aspect ratio than that, you should disable it. It can be disabled mid-save safely. The next optional mods are the ENBs. Wasteland Reborn comes with two default ENB presets, the Classic preset and the Revitalized preset. Both of these presets have been fine-tuned to the weather mods included in the mod list. For instance, the Revitalized preset is designed to take the vanilla game's lighting and weather systems and enhance it with modern features from ENB. This adds things like skylighting, cloud shadows, and better reflections. If you prefer Fallout 4's original look, but want a fresh coat of paint on it, this is the preset for you. And then you have the Classic preset. The Classic preset has all the same features as the Revitalized ENB preset, however it has a different form of color grading and slightly modified contrast values to make it appear more like the previous Fallout titles, like Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. If you're a big fan of the look from those two games, this might be the look for you. Finally, you could completely disable the ENB if you find it causing you performance issues. Without the ENB, you should gain a bit more FPS and frame stability in exchange for overall visual fidelity. Next, you have Power Armor Hollow HUD. If you choose to disable Suit Up or have a 21:9 or 32:9 monitor, I would recommend that you enable this. This replaces the Power Armor UI with a more see-through, overall better looking version. After that, you have the ultra-wide mods. These are pretty simple. If you have a monitor that's either 32:9 or 21:9, enable the respective mod. These last few mods are mostly about personal preference. Uneducated Shooter adds the ability for your character to lean left and right, implements proper dynamic height, as well as enhancing gun inertia while looking around. However, if you decide to enable it, you should only do so on an existing save. It occasionally can cause a buggy interaction if enabled before coming out of Vault 111. The No Focus Sound mod disables the clicking noise heard when the player hovers over items in the game world. The Less Orange Sniper Rifle mod adjusts the texture of the European sniper rifle in-game to one that may be slightly more appealing for some people. The Neutral Pronouns mod replaces the he, him, or she, her pronouns that are written in reference to the player with a gender-neutral they, them, if you prefer it. And finally, the Recharger Weaponry Noise Remover disables the audible hum in which those weapons produce while idling. Last, there's Settler-Built Settlements. This adds the ability for the player to construct building supplies that allow the settlers to build up settlements on their own. To enable this mod, make sure you place all of the associated plugin files above prp.esp in your load order, like shown on screen. Before we start making settings custom to your hardware, you're first going to want to create an easy way to ensure your settings don't get overwritten. With Mod Organizer 2 open, right-click in an open space in the left panel. Then, select Create Empty Mod. Name this mod brackets, no delete, Wasteland Reborn, custom settings. Next, we're going to find the specific INI files we're going to be editing. In the Revitalized ENB or Classic ENB folder, copy the folder named root into the custom settings mod. You can then delete all of the files in this copied folder aside from the enblocal.ini file. Next, find the mod called buffout4 ng xl fps mcm boost settings, and copy the folder named f4se. Inside the plugins folder, you can then delete all but the high fps physicsfix.ini files. Lastly, find the mod called Shadow Boost Fallout 4 ini. Copy the contents of its f4se folder into the custom settings mod. Now that you have your settings mod created, it's time to start tweaking. Open enblocal.ini. With the ini file open, navigate to the memory section. Set force video memory size to true, as well as are you sure you know what it is? Set your video memory size to around the size of your VRAM. In my case, I have 12 gigabytes of VRAM, and so I set it to 1200. Then you can save the file. Next, open high fps physicsfix.ini. Then, navigate down to the in-game FPS setting. Set it to whatever the refresh rate is on your monitor. In this case, I have a 144Hz monitor, and therefore I will set it to 144. Next, scroll down to the section Num Threads while loading new game. Set this to around 4. If you find problems starting a new game, change that number to 0. Finally, navigate down to the section Budget Max FPS. Set this to the same number you set earlier. Then you can save. To test the Shadow Boost settings, we're first going to need to go in game. Once you're in game, press F11. A menu should appear in the top corner. Press the Preset button and then the Editor button. With the editor open, set your FPS target to about 10 frames less than the FPS settings that you've assigned. In this case, I'm assigning 130 frames per second. Next, consider raising the FPS delay and MS tolerance settings. The FPS delay setting increases the amount of frame drop required for Shadow Boost to affect. You should also set your MS tolerance setting to slightly higher than whatever your average MS frames are. Next, go to the Shadow and Grass tabs. Both of these play a major factor on your performance. You should probably test the effect on your frame rate of both the shadows and grass sliders in multiple locations to get the best possible settings. Generally, the lower the settings, the closer it'll be until shadows and grass are no longer rendered. When you've got the settings you think are right for you, press save. And that's about it. Feel free to tweak these settings as much as you'd like. Since you've created a mod tagged as no delete, it won't get overwritten when you update the list, and therefore it'll stay as a backup. After this video goes live, I'm going to start working on my first build guides for Wasteland Reborn, and then after that, some lore videos and other Fallout related content. So if you're interested in something like that, feel free to subscribe. Also, I'd like to give a special thank you to all my patrons. Mano, Master Cook, Tom, Dapper, Verena, Medium Chungus, Pork Pickle 1130, Nate, The Rige, and Smoothie. All of your support is greatly appreciated. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.